We have technology.
All right, Danno, how you been doing lately?
Danno Cal Drawings!
Yes! All right, it's been a while. This guy's one of my favorite people, not only on YouTube, but on the internet, because to me, YouTube almost is like the whole internet. It's the only internet I care about. But I have met Danno the same way that I've met a lot of the animators that I look at on my channel. And I haven't met anyone that I didn't really like, obviously, but Danno just seems like a really pure soul to me. You know when you talk to someone and you just like know that they're like a good-hearted person? I guess maybe down to earth would probably be the right phrasing. Anyways, that's how I feel about my man Danno, and we are gonna check in on his new videos. Why living forever would be terrible.
Living forever would actually be terrible, because
Why?
even though immortality and fountains of youth are popular ideas in media, and so many people out there wish to live forever, the truth is that being immortal would kind of be the worst existence ever. Okay, the positives, you could see the world change, new technologies, you wouldn't have health issues, and you wouldn't get old and ugly. That's about it. Now, the negatives, not only would you have to watch everyone you love die, you'd also have to watch everyone die. Your kids, your friends' kids, acquaintances, celebrities. In just 200 years, everyone you know would be replaced. You would kind of go insane. Also, you'd probably get bored. Being alive for that long means you'd have time to do everything you want, and then you'd run out of things to do, and you'd still be stuck staying alive. Man. Finally, after the world ends and every single person dies, you'd just be left alone on an empty planet with nothing but your own memories. So basically, death is a gift. Be happy your time is limited.
That was heavier. Why did I not think that when I clicked on a video about living forever being bad, why did I not expect that to get really dark? Okay, Danno, I disagree. If the world were to explode and you were still alive for some reason, yeah, your brain would take at least like 20 years to adjust to just being in space with nothing to do. That would be pretty bad. But for however long the world is here, you get to experience all of that. That sounds cool. I don't know, but eternity is a whole other thing. Anyways, we're starting off pretty heavy. Mario Kart should be rated M for mature. Okay, really, Danno? Really? You're not gonna get me with this one, Danno.
Mario Kart World has animals. And no, I'm not talking about how you can throw a shell at a penguin on a bike or something. I'm talking about how the game could literally be rated M for mature because of a serious case of technical animal cannibalism. Most of you probably know where I'm going with this, but in the game, you can play as a cow and you can pick up fast food from Yoshi's Diner for a
my gosh!
A lot of the time, this food comes in the form of burgers,
Oh my gosh!
Beef, which is cow. PETA officially lists forcing animals to commit cannibalism as actual animal sweets, and it is illegal. So yeah, Mario Kart should be rated M.
What on earth? Dude, I need you to be very careful and try not to break your arm or have it dislocate from your shoulder at the sheer magnitude of that reach, okay? I mean, really. If we're gonna talk about a silly cow eating a silly fake burger, then yeah, let's just talk about Mario crushing all of his enemies and flattening them into pancakes. Let's talk about what that would be like if this game was in the real world, okay? But either way, that was funny. I played through Mario Kart World. I've been playing my Switch 2 constantly, and I got really bored because there was only one real, like, new game that came out for it. I finished it quickly, and so now I'm doing Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild again because it's one of the only games that's, like, upgraded for the new hardware. And if any of you guys are playing Switch 2 or Switch, pro tip, play Switch and have my videos going the whole time in the background. Just watch my videos while you play through a game. That's a good time. That's a very good time. The best mascot ever was lost.
The best soda mascot ever was lost to time? Okay,
Pepsi Man.
Think of every soda mascot you know. It's kind of hard, right? I guess you've got Santa and polar bears for Coke, kind of. This dog for Muggs Root Beer, and that's about it. Nothing for Sprite, the Superior Root Beer Bars.
Yeah, I don't need to think about mascots when I drink a soda.
Nothing for Fanta, you get the point. So that being said, there's not a whole lot of competition, but the best soda mascot ever, I will stand by, is Pepsi Man. You know how that random Dr. Pepper guy is getting so much publicity for randomly showing up with a Dr. Pepper? Well, Pepsi Man was doing it way before it was cool. Back in the 90s, where he would show up to a treacherous situation and save the day with a nice can of Pepsi.
Giving them a Pepsi.
I don't even like to drink, but if a whole superhero showed up with one for me, how can I say no?
I think Kendall Jenner tried that and it didn't really go over too well. Who remembers that?
He even got his own game on the PlayStation, all right?
Wow.
Okay, granted, a couple of his commercials are scary, where he resembles a Harry Potter Dementor more than anything, but still, for the most part, he gives Silver Surfer Spider-Man vibes, and I think that's pretty cool. But sadly, they just stopped using him. So,
Sad.
PepsiCo, hear me. Coke has always beat you. Bring back Pepsi Man and profit. That is all.
Dude, honestly, I'm serious. I really think that that's kind of a good idea. If Pepsi brought back Pepsi Man, I don't know anyone who would stop drinking Pepsi if Pepsi Man was a thing, but it would definitely stir up some conversations. I actually think that's a good idea. I think that's something that the world would get behind. If you consider how much stupid stuff the world gets behind these days, bringing back Pepsi Man, I think that would totally work. Disney's terrible Father's Day post. Oh boy. I'm excited.
This is one of the dumbest things Disney has ever done. All right, so Father's Day was yesterday, and I wanted to talk about one of the stupidest, worst posts that Disney has ever made about father. Because, well, yes, they've got some great dads like Merlin and Goofy. They've also got terrible dads such as Dr. Finkelstein wanting to own Sally, or Pete abusing and neglecting PJ. But the most hated Disney father is this guy, Buck Cluck. In Chicken Little, he is the most unsupportive, gaslighting dummy. When the whole town is against his son, not only does he not stand up for him, he's outright embarrassed to be his father and doesn't even really try to hide it. The only time he ever shows Chicken Little any support is when he's already succeeded, like winning his baseball game or after saving the world. Even during an entire alien invasion, Buck still wouldn't trust his son until the very end. Yet Disney had the gall to post this. Family is there for you when the sky
He wasn't there for him!
He literally freaking wasn't. I'm not kidding. People rank him as a worse dad than Frollo from Hunchback, who locked Quasimodo in a tower for his whole life.
That's a pretty bad dad.
Who completely abandoned Aladdin at birth, making him an orphan.
Dad.
Listen, I think that's a little too far to rank him as worse than those two, but also, I don't care enough to defend this idiot. So for next Father's Day, go eat some KFC. If we're lucky, you'll be...
Oh my god, Danno, chill!
Danno, chill with that. That was a little extreme, wasn't it? I have not seen Chicken Little, but sounds like that's a pretty bad dad. And I don't know how long all of you guys have been with me, but in 2020, I devised a concept known as the bad dad tax. If a dad is bad, they have to pay a $10,000 fine. Maybe I said 10 million back then. I don't know what I said.
Yo, okay, the bad dad tax. I, RobertIDK, if elected as president, will instill the bad dad tax. All bad dads will be forced to pay a penalty of $2 million a year. Vote for me and we will see change in America.
And I'm Mickey Mouse, and I'll be vice president.
Thank you, Mickey. Vote for me by hitting the like button.
But I still believe in the bad dad tax. If you did that to Mr. Chicken Little, or Chicken Large, I guess, I don't know what his name is, maybe he would have been a better dad. Homie, if you're not planning to be a good dad, don't be a dad. Being a dad is a privilege. If you're gonna be a dad, you have to be a good dad. It is an honor to bring human beings into this earth. I am gonna get way too deep. Anyways, bad dad tax. And yeah, Disney, the absolute nerve to make a post like that and use the most bad dad. This is what you want people to model their lives after? You call it a dad? Clearly the person who made the post didn't see the movie. Oh, I heard about this. Switch 2s are being broken by GameStop?
Nintendo Switch 2s are being ruined by GameStop? Okay, so yesterday was the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2, and I'll be honest, it went a lot better than the first Switch as far as hardware goes. Mario Kart World is great, and people who ordered from Walmart even got free snacks with their Switch. However, if you got your Switch 2 from GameStop, it's a different story, because last night a lot of people were getting their Switches fresh out of the box, already damaged, with the screen pierced or cracked. Why? Well, because of a certain New York GameStop, where the employees had the bright idea to staple the Switch receipts to the front of the console. And you guessed it, the staples broke through the box and into the screen.
That's
crazy.
Mind you,
these are people who waited in an insanely long line at midnight just to get it, only for it to be ruined right out of the box. Luckily, though, today they announced that replacements are offered to all the people who got a damaged Switch, and that the staplers have been confiscated.
Oh
but just,
my
come on, you guys are like the video game store. This is kind of crazy. Anyway, if you got a Switch 2, let me know what you think.
Pretty cool. Is pretty cool, brother. Well, as I already said, I am loving my Switch 2. But yeah, what an unbelievable oversight. And I think the worst part about it is that if it's when they were stapling the receipt to the box, that means those Switches were not damaged until they were purchased. That's what that means. It was damage that wasn't even done on the way to GameStop. It wasn't even done when they put them on the shelves. It was done when a person had bought it immediately after. It's like if the lunch lady gives you a sandwich and goes, to it right when they give it to you. It's like, you are supposed to be the provider. Now you're the destroyer. Ray William Johnson's fake child. What? You guys know I'm from the YouTube era where that guy was like the biggest YouTuber on the planet.
Ray William Johnson's lying stalker? Okay,
Oh,
so I wasn't
nice.
going to cover this because it's more of his story to tell, but seeing as his video hasn't picked up a lot of traction yet compared to his other videos, I wanted to talk about it. So in case you don't know, Ray William Johnson is a massive OG YouTuber and now Shorts YouTuber, but recently there's been a girl out there claiming that he's her long-lost father who abandoned her at birth. She's made tons of TikToks about it, but the only problem? The claims are completely fake. Not only does she say he was in college in 2002 when he had her, even though he didn't graduate college until 2010, but her biggest evidence is this photograph of him and her mom, which is clearly a Photoshop from his 2018 Instagram post
Oh
with
my
his wife.
gosh.
And the funniest part, even though it's supposedly from 2002, you can see a badly photoshopped iPhone in the picture, even though iPhones didn't come out for another 5 years.
Oh
So
my
sadly, a bunch of people have believed her and have been attacking RWJ with serious threats. Luckily, his video cleared up a lot of confusion, but now here's the issue. Those same people will now be attacking, flaming, threatening, and probably doxing her now. Now listen, these allegations she's made are serious and life-ruining and are not okay. But at the same time, it's kind of obvious that she's just an immature younger adult with some serious mental issues. Hopefully the public damage can be repaired from Ray's side, and if he wants to press legal charges, he's definitely within his rights. But also, I can't help but feel bad for this girl's comment sections for the next long while. Internet's brutal, man.
Yeah, I think that is like the most like toxic and awful part of stuff like that, is that no matter what, it's going to just cause anger on the internet. It's going to cause people to harass someone. And so yeah, of course, all the people that were attacking Ray William Johnson as soon as he like proves that it was false, those same people are now going to attack the other person. And it's like, how about you just don't attack anyone? How about that? You know, maybe realize and understand that you are doing nothing good for the world by just attacking a person that you don't personally know. Literally nothing positive in the world happens. And honestly, hating feels bad. So like, just focus on your own life, you know? And yes, this person does sound like an insane person who I truly hope gets like mental health help because they clearly have some serious mental issues. Snow can make you blind?
Snow can make you blind? Alright, so have you ever seen really pretty glistening snow when the sun hits it just right and it starts to sparkle? Well, apparently, despite how beautiful it looks,
incredibly
it's actually
bright.
super dangerous because the UV rays from the sun bounce off snow really easily. Seriously, snow reflects about 80% of UV rays, and this can basically sunburn your eyes, specifically your cornea, and can cause swelling, tearing, blurred vision, and blindness for a few days, which is officially known as snow blindness or photokeratitis. So how can you avoid it? Well, since they don't make eye sunscreen, you can either wear sunglasses or goggles, but both of those will probably make you look stupid on a snow day, so in my opinion, just don't stare at the pretty snow too long.
Well, I think for the average person, the only time they actually are like looking at snow all around them all day is like if they're skiing or snowboarding. And in that case, they probably are wearing goggles. But yes, as a Canadian person, I can say snow can be incredibly bright. If the sun is out, yeah, there's such a big reflection. It's like a whole half sun is around you, you know? You know, if you ever like shine a light on like a white wall or like a white board or whatever, it'll just like, it'll bounce that light and the light will be like, it'll help light the area. I mean, hey, do you want a perfect example? Hello, this is me filming this video right now. This is how I do my light. My light bounces and that's how I light myself. This is a white wall, so it's able to reflect a lot of the light back at me. And so the light, me being lit right now, is from not even a direct light source. So yeah, snow is like a gigantic white wall being hit by the brightest light in the universe. So yeah, snow, it's pretty bright. A Nintendo Switch 2 saved a guy's life?
A Nintendo Switch 2 literally just saved a guy's life, because if you'll remember a few days ago when the Switch 2s were shipped out, I mentioned that while there were some mishaps at places like GameStop and Target, Walmart went above and beyond to show off that they're kind of the goat by sending every Switch 2 pre-order with a free Coke and some chips.
Are you advertising for Walmart, Danno?
But it was still a nice touch, and it also saved someone's life, because apparently a type 1 diabetic man revealed that his long-acting insulin started dropping his blood sugar insanely quick heartbreak one morning.
What?
And he says he's confident he would have died if not for the Coke Walmart left him with his Switch because he had no other sugary liquids in the house and there wouldn't have been enough time to get something else. Now, to be fair, this story sounds like an insane coincidence, and there's no proof beyond his Reddit story, but if it's true, it's kind of cool.
I mean, that's a good point. We've talked about how there are extremely crazy people out there. There are people who want internet-like points so much, they would like make up a story like this just to get internet-like points. You know, this could genuinely not be true at all, but we'll never know. I think the only thing that makes me skeptical is that this guy had no other sugary things in his house as a type 1 diabetic. You would think that there would always be something in case of emergency. McDonald's failed Starbucks ripoff? Cosmics? Is that? There's no way. What the heck? What the heck is a Cosmic?
The McDonald's Starbucks ripoff has officially failed. That's right. If you'll remember, less than a year ago, I made a short talking about McDonald's new restaurant, Cosmics. They're a direct competitor to Starbucks, specializing in coffee and small snacks. And yet, only 2 short years after announcing the thing, they've already decided to call it quits, making a public statement that the restaurants would be permanently shut down, the app would be taken off the App Store, and everything Cosmics would be tossed into the bin along with McDonald Land, the Monopoly campaigns, and Ronald McDonald himself. Listen, it was a cool idea, but kind of poor execution. Almost no one knew it was related to McDonald's, and it was a really small opening. But in the end, who really cares? It's McDonald's coffee. It's far from irreplaceable.
Oh, McDonald's coffee had to catch a stray at the end. Cosmics. I've never heard of that. I mean, I straight up never heard of it. It's like, it's not a matter of like, if I saw it on the street, I'd never be able to tell that it's related to McDonald's, but the name Cosmics does not make me think of getting a coffee and a snack or whatever, like a baked good or whatever. Cosmics sounds like an old school American breakfast with like eggs and pancakes and sausage. That's what Cosmics sounds like. This logo, the last thing I would think is coffee shop. Seriously, that's very bad branding in my opinion.
And I can say this because I have a marketing degree. I know you think I'm just some autistic man who says his opinions and believes them very strongly from his room. And while you may be right, I am also a very well-educated man. I have a baccalaureate degree in marketing, and I was in the special gifted program growing up. They saw that I was a prodigy, and instead of becoming a NASA space engineer or a neuroscientist, I've decided to use my knowledge to make dumb YouTube videos for you. So when I ask you to beat that like button for me and hit the subscribe button, it's just because I need you guys to appreciate that I could be solving the economic crisis, but instead I care more about making you guys smile. So all of your support is appreciated.
The world's first flying car is real? Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Hit me, Danno.
Flying cars are actually real now.
What?
And you'll probably see people start using them a lot sooner than you think, because after decades of people dreaming about getting their own flying car, finally the company Klein Vision has certified a transforming flying car that you can fly around in before transferring back into a car in only 90 seconds. And the most insane part? This isn't a concept or something. This is actually going into mass production in the year 2026.
What? You can't
Once
do
again,
that.
You can buy one of these things next year.
You can't do that.
Granted, they're $800,000, and while this is a lot of money, at the same time, it kind of feels cheap for the world's first flying car. Although I still have a few questions, like does it run on regular gasoline, and what kind of license does it take? Because this thing is basically just a mini airplane. I don't need a driver's license and a pilot's one, do I? But yeah, still pretty cool.
Yes, you would need a pilot's license as well. Absolutely, you would. The top comment: are we gonna get toon turf before flying cars? That's amazing. Yeah, there is no way that the average person will be able to buy something like that. Can you imagine how many crashes those would have? Like, seriously, this technology has not been tested for long enough for us to just give these to people. Could you, are you kidding me? Just the average person having a plane they can fly around? Yeah. Good luck. Good luck, dude. The real first animal ever cloned. Okay.
The first animal to ever be cloned? So a lot of people think that the first animal science ever cloned was a sheep, but that's not entirely true. In fact, scientists have been working on cloning since the 1800s, starting out by separating cells at birth to sort of make artificial twins, then moving on to cloning the first animal, tadpoles. But the reason the sheep is so famous is because it was the first mammal to ever be cloned from an adult cell, making a near perfect genetic copy, which is what most humans associate with
I remember
cloning. Although it
this.
took 277 tries, but in the end it was worth it because Dolly made it to adulthood and lived for 6.5 years. And it was a massive step toward helping endangered species. But why was she called Dolly? Well, it's actually because she was made from a breast cell. And because famous singer Dolly Parton is known for her large... Oh, wow.
What?
Okay, I guess scientists are immature too.
What? Wow, what a crazy reason to name your sheep that. Hey, you can call these cloners what you want, but you can't call them unclever. You can't call them unoriginal. Anyways, I think I remember hearing about that sheep being cloned. Dude, wait a minute. Oh no, I'm not gonna, guys. We're talking about clones. I'm not gonna do it. I promise. I've done it enough. We've covered this topic before. I will not do it. Listen, someone even just commented this.
Carl Squared, basically another theme song.
This has basically become like a theme song for the channel. Hey, I don't mind. As long as the theme songs I do are the ones with singing that doesn't sound like the person's neck is being crushed. Carl Square. How this YouTuber solved ice. Guys, it's Garrett the Carrot. We did a video on Garrett the Carrot. And because it wasn't very long, YouTube didn't show it to many people. So this video is gonna be longer than that. But it's a classic.
This YouTuber solved ice.
No.
Okay, so yesterday I made a short talking about how much I hate ice and I think it's dumb and a scam and terrible. But then I got a comment from fellow animator Garrett the Carrot, who agreed with me, but also said that restaurants should do one specific thing to fix the entire problem. Make ice out of the drink liquids. Oh my gosh, it's perfect.
Oh
so for
my
example, let's say
gosh.
you have a root beer, you can fill it completely with root beer flavored ice, and yes, it's cold, but then when the root beer ice melts, it will just be more cold root beer that you can
Oh
drink.
my gosh,
There's no watered down
incredible!
taste, no getting scammed out of more drink. It's just perfect, and I need Mr. the Carrot to receive a Nobel Prize. It should be a legal
Incredible.
requirement for restaurants to do this now.
Incredible. What a brilliant idea. Okay, here's how that idea actually would never work. Because they would have to have like 1 million freezers with dedicated freezer shelves for ice for each drink. And that is a lot of money to chill. It would damage the ice making machines if they put it into a normal ice making machine. They probably are not designed to have that, so it would likely damage the machine. And they'd have to have like 10 of them. In theory, it's brilliant, okay? In practice, it's impractical. But shout out Garrett the Carrot. Guys, if you haven't seen my Garrett the Carrot video, you should watch that one as well. That was a classic that YouTube buried and didn't show to you guys because it was too short. It wasn't getting enough watch time because it was too short. So YouTube just was like, okay, we'll show it to your hardcore fans and then no one after that, because that's how YouTube works for my channel. Why dogs can't eat bones? I mean, seems pretty self-explanatory.
Dogs can't eat bones? So just
What?
like cats with
No
milk and
way.
rabbits with carrots, dogs can't actually eat a food that they're largely associated with in media and cartoons.
No
bones,
way.
For many reasons. First, a lot of bones are choking hazards, with dogs swallowing them whole or in large parts and having it be hard to breathe. Second,
Yes.
bones can splinter really easily, with
Yes.
pieces breaking off and scratching up their throats and getting stuck inside their intestines, and basically
Yes.
just causing a lot of damage and a wide range of health problems. Also, bones can be terrible for dogs' teeth since a lot of bones are super strong. Yeah,
Yup.
basically TV lied to you again. So instead of giving your dogs bones, just do what my family's been doing for years and give them bone chew toys instead.
I don't know, man. Dogs love bones, bro. Dogs will go crazy for a bone. You give a dog a bone, he'll make you a sandwich. I think that's what the saying is. What? But was anyone really asking why an animal can't ingest a bone? Was anyone actually asking that, Danno? I think we got it. I think we figured that one out on our own. Why the Switch 2 launch was terrible? I already know I'm gonna disagree with this one.
The Switch 2's launch was horrible. Alright, so Nintendo
okay.
Switch 2 pre-orders went live 2 days ago, and my gosh, it was the worst. Nintendo had said, hey, we're working to make sure this launch is so much better than Switch 1. Since when the first console came out, you couldn't find one anywhere for months because of such high demand, and scalpers selling it for insanely high prices. And guess what's happening now? Not only are scalpers selling their pre-orders for like $2,000, but also nearly every pre-order website kept crashing on launch day, with people waiting in line for hours on Best Buy and Walmart's websites, while GameStop's website crashed as soon as pre-orders went live. But the worst, Target, because they actually let everyone pre-order, only to cancel so many people's orders minutes later. By then, it was too late for them to get one on a different site. Luckily, I got one by waiting in line at GameStop in person, but everyone who said the Switch 2 was gonna bomb like the Wii U, no. Right now, it's shaping up to be the most purchased console on launch of all time, which sadly means $80 games are probably here to stay.
Okay. That's not what I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be, like, talking about the backlash about the Switch 2. Like, look at this guy right here. Look at this related thing.
The Switch 2 marks the downfall of Nintendo.
They could put out the perfect console and people would still be making stupid videos like that. The Switch 2 is doing so well. It's a nice upgrade. I'm happy with it. Obviously, it is a pretty expensive console at launch, and I understand if people think it costs too much. Unfortunately, that's just the way the world is going. Inflation, it's just how it is. But in terms of the console itself, I have pretty much no complaints. And it's not the downfall of Nintendo. It goes to show that, like, people complaining on the internet and backlash and all of that, it's all nonsense. Because the world will keep moving, and all of that is not going to stop Nintendo from selling, like, 3 million Switch 2s in the first few weeks, I think it said? Yeah, it's doing just fine. Are red hair people disappearing? Oh no. Oh no. Well, I got one right here. There you go. We got one right here. There you go. You see that? You see that? We got one right here. They're not all gone. They're not all gone.
Are people with red hair going extinct? So in total, redheads make up less than 2% of the entire world's population. And a few years ago, a news article circulated the internet claiming that people with red hair were dying off and would be almost entirely gone by the year 2060, if not 2030, because having red hair is a recessive gene, meaning it's less likely to show up in a kid. So is this true? Will red-haired people all disappear soon? Yeah, no. 2030, are you serious? That's in 5 years.
Yeah,
it's a massive rumor.
That's insane. What a dumb thing to say. What a stupid thing to say. Because there are kids, not Danno, the other people, saying 2030 they would be gone. Bro, are they all just gonna, like, keel over? They're here still. There are currently kids with red hair who will have new kids with red hair in 40 years. 2030, that makes no sense. How stupid are these people? How stupid are people? It's insane.
No. 2030, are you serious? That's in 5 years. This was just a massive rumor that was spread by social media because while it makes a cool headline, it's definitely not true. Yes, having red hair is a recessive gene, and the numbers may decrease, but recessive genes can skip generations, and they also never die out completely. So yeah, gingers will still exist for a while.
Boom. I actually have a bunch of red-haired cousins because I have a lot of Irish in me. I have a lot of Irish traits. Like, I don't exactly look Irish, but I will still burn in the sun very easily. But I have a lot of cousins who do have the red hair. And so it's like my dad's sisters have red hair and their kids have red hair. But my dad, he didn't really have red hair, and so I didn't get it. But it's in my family is what I'm saying. But yeah, genes are very interesting, right? Because my dad and his two sisters have the same parents, but they made red-haired girls and a boy that looks like me, basically. But yeah, 2030, get out of here with your stupidity. This is why I don't, like, go on the internet besides YouTube, because people have gotten stupider and stupider. Why? Parents hated SpongeBob? Oh no, not my precious SpongeBob.
Why parents didn't let their kids watch SpongeBob? Okay, so for a while growing up, I thought I was the only one, but later I found out apparently a bunch of parents didn't let their kids watch SpongeBob. For some reason, I could watch everything else. Gravity Falls, Harry Potter, some Marvel movies,
I think I know.
But oddly, no SpongeBob. Obviously, I've caught up on it now, but what made so many parents keep their kids away from the show? Well, apparently there's a few reasons. First, I guess there was a large crowd back in the day who believed that SpongeBob decreased kids' intelligence and encouraged impulsivity, which
Wow.
It's comedy about a sponge. Since when has comedy made anyone smarter? That's not the point. Some parents also thought it was too quickly paced and could ruin their kids' attention span.
Too quickly paced? Ruining attention spans?
iPads. Great job. Really dodged a bullet there, huh? In reality, it's one of those things that parents just kind of did for no reason, and we had to suffer for it. In case you're wondering, no, there's no definitive proof that SpongeBob ruins kids.
Yeah, clearly not, because I have the first 3 seasons of SpongeBob memorized, and like I said,
I have a baccalaureate degree in marketing.
So I think we're good, parents. I think we're good. I really think a lot of it comes down to just like, there will always be certain parents who they see something that their kid is watching or is listening to, or something that's popular that is not like anything they grew up with, and it makes them uncomfortable because they don't understand it, and they're like, nope, I don't want you watching that. A lot of parents, even if it's like something that they don't understand, they'll be like, okay, it seems to make my kid happy, so go ahead, son. But there's always parents who, like, if they don't understand something and don't have personal experience with that thing, they will just be like, nope, that scares me because I don't understand it. You can't watch. So shout out to all the parents who give things a chance, you know? How this fake movie ruined McDonald's. Oh, I know what he's talking about. I'm so excited. Super Size Me. This movie was a huge deal when it came out.
This movie ruined McDonald's reputation, except the whole thing was a scam. So if you don't know, this is Super Size Me, a documentary film that focuses on one man eating nothing but McDonald's for 1 month straight, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And at the end of the month, he would visit the doctor to see what effects it had on his body. Now, he claimed to have gained 25 pounds, experience depression, and suffer from liver problems. And once he released the movie, due to the overwhelming negative press, McDonald's was removed from Disney theme parks, and they took away the supersize option for drinks and fries from the menu.
Wow, that's crazy. Homie destroyed McDonald's. I knew that they got rid of the supersize option after the movie, which I honestly think is good. I think that's a good thing, honestly. But I didn't know that Disney had McDonald's in their theme parks and then they got rid of it. That's crazy.
And they took away the supersize option for drinks and fries from the menu. But the truth, Morgan Spurlock, the creator and star of the film, was actually a struggling alcoholic before, during, and after filming the movie, revealing that he hadn't been sober for more than a week since he was 13 years old. In fact, in the film, a doctor says that he'd never seen liver issues like this in anyone who didn't drink, throwing a lot of things that happened in the movie into question. So the truth, while eating McDonald's every day definitely isn't the healthiest thing you can do, for the most part, this film is totally fake.
Wow. Oh my gosh. When did that come out? In 2017, Spurlock, who previously told his doctors he did not drink, admitted to copious amounts of alcohol consumption during the making of the film. That's insane. Literally consuming poison while making a movie about health. What a dingus. That's crazy. What a hypocrite. How reckless are people? Like this is, oh my gosh, it's like the same thing as so many other things. This guy went after McDonald's because he knew taking down something bigger than him would make him big. And he totally lied. Wow. Well, buddy, I hope you're satisfied with yourself. I mean, I do think taking supersize off the menu is good for the world, but I think lying is bad, especially on a scale like that. Why only 9 out of 10 dentists agree on toothpaste? Let's go. That's amazing.
Why toothpaste is always recommended by 9 out of 10 dentists and never 10 out of 10? Alright, so you've seen all those ads on TV and guarantees on boxes about how 9 out of 10 dentists agree so-and-so toothpaste is the best for your teeth. I'm the one dentist. Like that. But why is it always 90% and never 100? First, the surveys in which they do to get these results are kind of weird. They don't just go up to a dentist and say, what's your favorite toothpaste? It's usually, would you buy our toothpaste as opposed to this one? Or perhaps, would you say using our toothpaste?
Yeah, how do they do this?
Using no toothpaste at all. That way, they can skew the answers however they want.
Why don't they just pick 10 of their own dentists to agree to this and be like, hey, 10 out of 10, we asked 10 dentists, 100% of all dentists we have asked like our toothpaste. I guess you could do that about anything, right? Like, I just hit up 10 of my homies and I get them to say, yeah, RobertIDK is the best channel on YouTube. And I say 100% of people believe that RobertIDK is the best YouTube channel. Why? Because we only asked 10 people and they all agreed. So all the people we could possibly know think so. So that's basically everyone.
So why wouldn't they make it 10 out of 10? Well, 2 reasons. One, you can prove 10 out of 10 is false. If you find one dentist to say, no, I wouldn't put it in my mouth, then this is no longer right. But you can't prove a 9 out of 10 wrong because they'll just say your dentist is in the minority.
True.
The biggest reason is simply because 9 out of 10 is more believable to the average customer. Listen, it's 2025. There's virtually nothing that everyone agrees on. So if you saw the 10 out of 10 dentist recommend something, you'd be like, yeah, right. There has to be a catch or they bribed them. But 9 out of 10 has just enough to make it believable. It's like when a teacher would say, so what grade do you think you deserve? And instead of giving yourself a 100, you mark off a couple points and give it a 90 just to make it believable.
90 is still intense. Honestly, at that point, just go all the way with it. 999,999 out of 1,000,000 dentists agree. They can't prove it unless there aren't 1,000,000 dentists in the world. Then you can prove it. But what are they going to do? What are they get? Okay, fine. 99,999 out of 100,000 dentists agree that it's the illest and realest. That's what you do. How are they going to stop you? How are they going to stop you? I don't know. Just like I can't stop you from watching all of the other Danno Cal Drawings videos that I have done. If you enjoyed this video, don't let the party stop. Watch the whole playlist. Also, subscribe to Danno. He is one of my favorite humans on YouTube. Check him out. He's the GOAT. And here's another video of mine that YouTube thinks you'll like. So I'll see you in more Danno Cal, or I'll see you down there. Peace!